Like, I wrote this story like 10 years ago, and then I stopped telling it because it has no real ending. Just kind of like, it ends like sad, and then people were like upset, and then I'd be like, that's it. And they'd be like, why, though? But something happened to me during the birth of my daughter, and I was like, oh, I think that's the ending right there. So I'm gonna do this story, and we'll see how it goes. And you know, if it sucks, then whatever. Can't win them all. This is a story about the time I gave a C-section to a cat. And this is a very good story because I have a degree in creative writing. So right away we have some stakes. He doesn't know what he's doing. The quick setup to this story is me and my friend Mike. Mike's here. Hey Mike, give a little woo. Yeah. Hey guys, there he is. Mike and I, we were looking to do some sort of community work after college, and we didn't know kind of what we wanted to do, but luckily we had this friend of ours from high school, Claire, who was, she had been to Thailand before, and she's like, hey, I'm setting up a program where we can work with schools in Thailand. And we're like, that's perfect. We can do some community work abroad, see a new place. And so me and Mike got on a plane to Bangkok, and we landed in Bangkok, and we were there for 2 days. And then Claire showed up, and she was like, hey guys, the thing with the schools fell through. So I've been talking to this guy on this island who runs this like vet clinic, and I guess they have a lot of like stray animals running around the island, so they need help spaying and neutering all the strays. Which is so different than working with children. I don't even know if I agree with that. Neutering dogs? I have never met a dog that I'm not immediately in love with. There are a million people I would neuter before dogs. My friend Joe. Neuter Joe. Joe is 38 years old. He's always hooking up with these like 20-somethings, and then he like tells me about it, and then I get all horny and angry, and I bring that energy back to my family. Neuter Joe. My neighbors, they're always having this like loud, aggressive sex. Not you neighbors. My neighbors are here. Not these ones. Other neighbors. They're just friends, you guys. Yeah, they're always having this loud, aggressive sex, and it scares my daughter. And then my wife's always like, why don't we do this? I'm like, I don't want to move. And then it's like a big fight. Neuter them. Neuter the neighbors. My parents... Hey guys, my parents are, they've been married for 40 years, still deeply in love, still very much attracted to each other, and sometimes I will catch them gazing into each other's eyes, and I'm like, get out of my apartment. Whoa, what are you doing? I've walked in my parents 4 times. 3 of those were when I was a kid, which is totally fine. Because when you walk into your parents as a kid, you don't really know what's going on. You just see these kind of shapes, and your brain's like, I don't even worry about this. And then you kind of black out. And then, neither here nor there. But the 4th time was this last summer. When I was making a sandwich in their kitchen, and then I heard my mother scream from upstairs, and I thought, oh no, Mom's in trouble. And then I ran to my nightmare. Do you guys understand? I skipped stairs to get there. I burst in the door. Mother, are you okay? She was fine. She did not need my help at all. In fact, that would be discouraged in our family. I don't know how you live in Greenpoint, but our family's not into that. So yeah, we're in Bangkok. We're like, all right, we can't just fly back to America. So yeah, we'll neuter dogs with you, Claire. And so we took a 12-hour, an 8-hour bus ride where the seats reclined all the way back, which should be illegal. You know, like there are rules in place for a reason. I watched an old woman's face just enter my lap. What are you doing here? There's no rules. There's a reason seats don't go all the way back. 8-hour bus, 4-hour boat, and we get to this island, and now we are just working at a vet clinic. Not something I've ever wanted to do or care about at all. I'm doing basic checks on animals, and basically what that is like you take their pulse, which you just do by grabbing their tongue, or you take their temperature, and you do that by shoving a thermometer into their ass. Not a big fan of that. I don't know if you've ever sucked the joy out of a dog, but I think about that look in that dog's eyes twice every 15 minutes. Just sucking the joy out of a dog. Like the dog, it comes in and it's so full of energy and excitement and it loves you so much, and then you put the thermometer in and you can actually watch the dog question its view for the first time. Its whole world has changed. You stick it in, like the dog is just like, yeah, I'm a dog, and then you get in there and you put it in and it's like, I never knew my father. I fetch the ball, I bring it back. What's the point? I'm a dog. So now I'm just working at a vet clinic. And about 3 weeks in, I'm just working at the front desk, and this Thai lady brings in this pregnant cat. It's okay. Yeah. this Thai lady, she brings in this beautiful cat. The awesome body, okay face. This cat is a hard A. I feel like that's getting a little weird. I'm not like attracted to cats or anything. I just like, you operate on enough cats, you start to appreciate a good-looking cat, but it's neither here nor there. This woman, she brings in her hot cat, and she puts it down on the table, and she's a Thai woman, so she's like, and I don't speak Thai. So that's what I think that is. And I was like, all right, we'll fix it. So I take the pregnant cat, and I bring it to the vet, and the vet is like, oh yeah, this is a pregnant cat, and I can't get the kids out, so we're going to have to give a C-section to the cat. So the vet, he opens up the cat, and I see the inside of a cat for the first time, and it's purple throbbing tubes, and I'm like, boy, life is a nightmare. Wow. That's what we are, tubes. Really horrible. And then he cuts open one of the tubes, and in there are 4 baby kittens. And he pulls them all out, and he gives them to me, and then he sews up the cat, and then he's just like, hey, rub these all over the cat. Because that's something you have to do when you give a C-section to a cat. Because C-sections aren't natural to cats, so you have to trick them into believing that these are its children, because they didn't see themselves give birth. And the way to do that is you rub the cats all over the cat, so that they all have the same vibe or whatever. I don't know when that's going to come up for you, but if you guys are ever giving a C-section to a cat, maybe some of you guys want to be a vet, maybe some of you guys get a little too drunk and want to have a little fun. That's what you do. So I'm just rubbing cats on cats for just like a long time, like too long. Like I'm just rubbing the cat on the cat. I felt like I was trying to erase a cat with other cats. Just like rubbing the cat on the cat. And he gave me no time for this. He's like, just do it. And then he didn't tell me when to stop. So I rubbed the cats on the cat for what I felt like was long enough. And then I was like, all right, time for lunch. Lunch. The greatest part of life. Oceans will rise, empires will fall. Lunch. Every day. You skip it, you get a headache, and you're mad at your friends for no reason. So I go to lunch with Claire. Me and Claire, we go to lunch, and then we come back, and then we look at Snowball. That's the cat's name, Snowball. And she has eaten 2 of the kittens. Oh no! Snowball went to lunch too! Oh no! Not Snowball, no! And Snowball is purring like nothing is. Oh, were there more cats? I only see a couple cats. Where? I'm like, Snowball, what have you done? This is a broken cat. This is a defective cat. It belongs in the trash with the dog legs, which is where we kept our dog legs. When you amputate dog legs in Thailand, there's no special place. You just throw them in the trash with your Coke can and your Twix wrapper. And they just are there. That's where I wanted Snowball to go. So we take the remaining 2 kittens away, and we want Snowball to, we want her to eventually, like, they can't stay away from Snowball forever because they need her for nourishment, and so we have to eventually reintroduce them to Snowball at some point, and get them to love, to get Snowball to love them. And the way you do that, the way we did that, is we would put a kitten in and hope for the best. Hey, you're not going to do that weird thing you did earlier again, Snowball. Certainly you would never do that again. And then Snowball would start to lick the kitten, and it was kind of weird because, like, that is cat behavior, but it's also how I eat ice cream. So I'm like, is this good? Is this hungry? I don't know what this is. And eventually, Snowball did eat and kill them all. So anyway, that's where the story used to end. You can imagine how people would be kind of upset at an ending like that. But that's not where tonight's story will end. I think I figured it out. When I was at the hospital with my wife and we were delivering my daughter, the nurse called in the nurse's assistant, and the nurse's assistant was Claire, who I have not seen in 11 years. In fact, literally the last time I saw Claire was when we were delivering these lunch cats together or whatever. So the sight of Claire drew out thoughts in me that I don't think most expectant fathers have. Like, oh my God, will my wife eat our baby? They put my daughter on my wife, and I'm like, you should really rub her in there. I know what I'm talking about. She hasn't eaten in like 15 hours. I'm gonna really want to rub her in there. But the most shameful thought I had was when Claire handed me my daughter for the first time, and I'm holding her, looking into her blue eyes for the very first time. My first thought was, oh, finally, I have an end to this bit.